What's up YouTube? My name is Doc and welcome to my channel, and today I want to talk about the incredible honor that I had joining my first ever podcast. In this video I'm going to talk about some of the things leading up to the podcast and some of the tips that we talked about. So first things first, I definitely want to thank Millennial Money for having me on the podcast. It meant the world to me. So if you guys have never heard of them, definitely go look them up. I have all their links down below, whether it's Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Give them a follow, give them a like, and let them know I sent you. So here's the burning question. How did I end up on a podcast? How does a regular guy like myself on YouTube, just some guy with a camera in a spare bedroom, talk about finances to a camera, end up on a podcast? Well, here's how it kind of happened. So as some of you guys know, I definitely got into real estate. I made that decision a couple weeks ago. I have not officially started in real estate, but I started taking my real estate license, so I'm really excited about that. But one thing that kind of escaped me, that most people pretty much find themselves in a situation when they're doing something new, is surrounding themselves with the things that encourages that. Let's say you want to work out and you and your friends usually go out and party. So the moment that you say, hey, I want to work out, they might be encouraging, or they might be like, I don't know, man, when it comes to Friday night, let's just go out and eat and drink, when you want to go out and work out, and that can be very discouraging. So the way that you beat that is that you definitely move yourself into a situation where it's more encouraging. I'm not saying dump your friends, but what I'm saying is definitely have avenues where they're pouring into you, and pretty much that can be anything from your social media to books to teachers, mentors, and all such. So for me personally, what really helps me is listening to podcasts, and some of the podcasts I listen to is Earn Your Leisure podcast, Bigger Pockets podcast, and several others. But there's one thing in one of those podcasts is at the end of them, they always say their book recommendations. And when they give those recommendations, I waste no time whatsoever. I automatically pull up Amazon, add it to my cart, and pretty much have a list of books that I want to read in the future. So another step I encourage that I do is molding my social media around the thing that I'm interested in. And every time there was a guest on any of these podcasts, I would automatically add them to my social media. And this is where I met Brenda Almost. Now technically I didn't really meet her, but I heard her on the podcast and I automatically added her on Instagram, and a week or so later, she added me back. So here's where the connection came in. Brenda had her own podcast called Millennial Money that she hosted with Amber Porter, which they talked about, as the title suggests, minority money when it comes to millennials. So now that I set that up, I definitely wanted to show that I was not thinking about being on the podcast. It was kind of one of my goals, definitely in the future, but not this soon. How it ended up playing out is that when I landed from a trip from Florida, checking on my rental property, I had a message on Instagram from Brenda asking me if I want to be on the podcast. Now, for legit, I thought this was spam. I was like, there's no way someone asked me to be on a podcast. I had to read the message like 16 times. So after initial shock, I replied back, yes, absolutely, I would love to be on your podcast, even though I had no clue what I was going to talk about. She ended up putting me and Amber Porter and herself in a group message, which we pretty much planned on recording the podcast in a couple weeks. What was really cool is that I didn't really have to prepare anything. She just pretty much said, hey, just be yourself, we'll ask some questions, we'll just be basically hanging out, and that's pretty much what it felt like. So we ended up doing a podcast, and when it finished, we chatted a little bit, and I really felt like I made two really good friends. I never had the opportunity to really have many financial friends out there to really talk about finances. Like, I geek out about Roth IRAs and investing and trying to figure out how to cut back on money and reading books. I am completely a nerd when it comes to that stuff. So being able to talk to them about it really was nice. So as I reflect back on the podcast, it definitely is encouraging, not only the fact that I did a podcast, but to know that the financial things I'm learning gives our opportunity for others to learn. I may not know everything, but I feel like there's also another version of me out there that doesn't know just as much as I know, and I have an opportunity to pass that along, but also have an opportunity to learn something else. So we're all learning. So I definitely thank you for supporting the channel. If you made it this far, it means you are definitely a supporter. You're definitely a part of the financial family. And if you're not, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, because I love growing this family so much. So with that said, thank you so much for watching. Remember, I am not a financial advisor. I'm just a guy with a spare bedroom and a camera, and I pretty much call this a YouTube studio, but it's not. It's probably like a YouTube like corner now. It's cool. Last but not least, don't forget to go out and reach out to Millennial Money. Thank them again for their time, and I hope to see you guys more and more as I make more videos.